Welcome back to my garden. My name is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. So today's chores, we're indoors in my basement where I've got my seed starting set up. We're going to get some potting mix moistened, and I want to get some sweet peas potted up. These are sweet pea balmoral. I'm going to put them in these deep root trainers. And because sweet peas, they don't like to be transplanted. So the good thing about these is these open right up. You can pull it right out, which is really nice. Very easy to put it together. I'm only going to do a few cells. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I don't have a place if they all actually work. The other thing I want to do today is I'm going to do some winter sowing, but I've got a lot of containers to clean out. So I think I'll just start with a few. I thought I'd start with a couple snapdragons and straw flowers. I think what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to do a combination. I'm going to do some winter sowing, and I'm going to do some inside. I have some heat mats, and I have some grow lights, and I got a nice little stand here from Gardener's Supply. So let's get going. Let's put some potting mix and get it moistened up so we can get these sweet peas in some pots. Here's a close-up of what a root trainer looks like, just so you can see. This is the package that I got, and like I said, I'm doing some sweet peas. I'll figure out what I'm going to put in the other ones because I only have a few sweet pea seeds at this point. And it's going to go over here on my stand with no light for the time being and no heat. Okay, first things first. Let's get some dirt. So for seeds indoors and also for, like I said, anything that's going in seed trays, we're using seed starter mix. So let's get that in there. And we're going to moisten it up just so we can hold it together. We don't want it wet. So when we get finished moistening it, we should be able to, grab it. Obviously not wet enough yet, but we don't want water coming out of it. So just keep going until you get, nice sort of mud consistency almost. I think this is still too dry. Okay, I think we're getting there. Now for winter sowing, we actually use potting soil, and then I'm going to top that with vermiculite. Well, I'm going to top them both with vermiculite. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, so it holds together, but I don't have any loose moisture. All right, let's fill these guys up. So I'm going to take my root trainers, going to fill them up. I'm going to tap these in a little bit just to settle it down, make sure I'm all the way down in the bottom, because there'd be nothing worse than having a whole empty cell. Okay, I think we're good here. Okay, on to the next. Very simple. Now, if a lot of you have followed me for the rest of the year, you'll know that I don't normally do seed starting. So last year was the first year that I tried. I had some success. I think I've learned a lot over the last year, I hope. So I'd love to hear your tips and tricks. I'm going to see how this goes this year. I'll show you the things I'm planting because I'm probably like most of you. I bought way more seeds than I possibly could use. So I'm not going to plant, if something came with 100 seeds, I'm not going to plant 100 seeds. I'm not a flower farmer. I've thought about it. But at this stage of my life, I got enough to do. And I'd rather bring you guys videos on different things for garden design and planting. And I do garden design for clients. So I think I have enough to keep me busy. All right. I think we've got those filled up. All right. Okay. So we're going to stand these up. Now it's my understanding that sweet peas, and I think snapdragons too, don't need bottom heat. All right, let's get our seeds and start putting that out. Okay, so let's just we're going to put, florets suggest putting 2 seeds in each hole. So let's try that. I'm just poking a hole with chopstick, about a 1/2 inch deep. Let's see how many seeds are in here. Let's see, does it say? I'm not sure. Let me show you. Oh, there aren't that many. Oh, you know why? Because this is leftover. Sorry. Okay, so I do have some seeds left, and I don't have that many. So I'm actually going to do only 1 per cell. All right. Let's get them down about a 1/2 inch. We're going to cover them with a hole. Okay, perfect. I actually have an extra root trainer. Maybe I'll try a snapdragon in there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is label this immediately. All right, so we're going to cover this up. Okay. Oh, I went upstairs and I forgot to bring down my Mr. bottle. All right, let me get that one out of the way. All right, these 2 have Balmoral sweet pea in them. I'm going to go get a tag, and then let's do some winter sowing. Okay, so I put a tag there, and I'm going to lightly cover this with some vermiculite. It helps retain moisture, and it also, I find, helps get rid of, mold and mildew and that stuff. And then we're going to cover this up. Whoops, I may need that other one to hold these guys up. So we'll stick that in there for right now. I may have to add more in there. So we're going to cover that up, and I'm going to stick it over here. I turned this light on just for demonstration purposes, but sweet peas do not need light to germinate. They actually need it dark. When they do germinate, we'll take that cover off, and then we'll put the light on. So right now, I'm going to turn this light off. Okay, we're finished right the minute with the seed starting mix. So for winter sowing, we need potting mix. I don't know what your basement looks like, but mine's a mess. Okay, let's get some potting soil in here, and then same thing, we're going to moisten it up. Hello. Well, it's another day, as you can see by the change of clothes. I had a few technical issues the other day. My video was not in focus. I'm going to get this one of these days, people, I swear. Also, if you have a great suggestion from Mike, I hate these mics, the lavalier mics that sort of go on the front of your clothes, because you're always bumping into them, and I don't feel like the quality is all that great. I'd love a suggestion. If you have one, just put it down below. So today, I wanted to do some more winter sowing. I got one done the other day, and I'm going to do a couple more. So today, I'm going to do Viola Floral Days, Morning Dew, and I've got a tag for that. I'm going to try Viola Frizzle Sizzle from Johnny's. I'm going to start some Bachelor Buttons by Floret. This one's Classic Magic. And I have a few others. I don't know if I'll get to them today. So I'm going to start some Status Apricot. This is by Johnny's. Some Cress Emerald Beads by Floret. Snapdragon Sherbet Tone Chantilly Mix by Floret. Stock Iron Marine by Johnny's. Feverfew Vegmo Single by Floret. So I don't know if I'll get to all those today, but I wanted to talk a little bit about winter sowing. So let me show you the winter sowing setup. Okay, so first, for winter sowing, I actually use a milk jug. You can use any container that is clear and will let light through it. So if you use, you could use soda bottles, you can use takeout deli containers, anything that's got like a 3 or 4 inch well. So if you use a milk jug, you're going to throw away the cap. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your knife, your drill, whatever you want to do, and you're going to poke some good sized holes in the bottom. Put it in, give it a twist. The best thing to do is do this before you start cutting the bottle. Okay, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to start at the handle, and you're going to cut all the way around, leaving a hinged lid. So you're basically making your own little greenhouse. Okay, we're then going to fill this up, like I said, like 3 or 4 inches with potting soil that we've moistened. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that right now. So let's get on my gloves. So the only other things you need for winter sowing, I use a garden marker. I find that I actually number my containers. So instead of writing on the outside what it is, I kept a list last year. So number 24 was whatever it is. And I found that easier. This way I can reuse my containers. The other thing you need is duct tape. And that really holds the containers closed no matter what the weather is outside. Because the idea is you're taking these, you're putting them outside, you're letting them be subjected to the elements. And when they're ready to grow, they'll grow. They don't need hardening off. And that's the great part with winter sowing, as I'm sure you've seen all over the place. So I've got some potting soil. I've got that's heavy. Okay, so I've got lots of big bags of Espoma organic potting mix. And so I've already got some in my tray here. And we're going to wet it down pretty thoroughly. We don't want runny water. We do want the soil to hold together. So put in some water, mix it up. What we're looking for is dirt that when we squeeze it together, holds together, but doesn't drip any water. So let's see where we're definitely not wet enough. We're going to add some more. Okay. Just mix it up good. Let's see where we're at. So if we grab a handful here, it stays together, but I'm not getting any moisture dripping out. I'm not getting water dripping out of it. So we're ready to fill our container. So we're just going to fill it up to about, you want like 3 or 4 inches of dirt. Again, do not use seed starting mix. These plants, for the most part, are going right out into the ground. But never use topsoil. Never use topsoil. Okay, so we'll get that off so you can actually see what I just did. Sorry. Okay, so there we are. So we've put our soil in. We've left a nice little lip, but we have like 3 or 4 inches of soil. Okay. Hang on, let me get my glove off because otherwise I won't be able to really handle the seeds. Okay, the next most important thing to do, let me angle this down a little bit, is to label, 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 label. You definitely need to label. So I'm going to start with the Viola Floral Days Morning Dew. I always put, even if you label on the outside of your container, I always label on the inside of my container. That way, if anything happens to the container outside where whatever you wrote on it, or whether you numbered it or you wrote the whole thing, if that goes away, you'll still have a tag on the inside. Now, I do find that these garden markers work really well. So let's open the Viola. These are pretty small seeds. Let's see, I want to show you. Hang on a second, let me move back here a little bit. Okay. These are very small seeds. Okay. So I'm going to sprinkle a few of these, sort of like pinching salt, just lightly around this container. I'm not going to try to get every single one in there separately. So I'm not even using them all. I still have a bunch left in there, okay? I like to write, hang on, the date on there so I know when I planted them, okay? And then I'm going to go to my list and I'm going to write down that number 24 is this viola. And I could write it right here. I could also write it right on the package. So I have that, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we want to seal up our container. Let me see if I can get some of the dirt off where I'm going to put the tape. I've heard a few people say this is definitely easier with two people. There's no two ways about it. It really is. But it's totally doable by yourself. So an easy way to do it is, oh, thank goodness that heater went off, so maybe you can hear me now, is to just take a single piece of tape and tape it in one spot. Now you need to tape it all the way around, okay? Because you need this container sealed. One, you don't want critters getting in there. Okay, so get the tape on, push it on, make sure it's closed. And that's how simple winter sowing is. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it outside in a sunny location. We'll check on it periodically and see how things are growing. So let's get another one or two of these done. I just realized I forgot something. Okay. I'm going to open that one back up. I always cover mine with vermiculite, and I also want to spray them. It's called multitasking. So let me show you this one correctly, okay? Bachelor buttons. This is Classic Magic. Again, I'm putting the tag inside. Let's get some seeds. These are a little bit bigger. And so they're a little bit easier to actually place, because you can actually see them. Number one, they're white, so that helps. Okay, different seeds take different requirements. So this one says plant it 1/4 of an inch deep. Hang on. So we're going to cover the seed lightly with some soil. Okay. Now, before I put the vermiculite on, I'm actually going to spray this with a little bit of water. We're just moistening it up. You want to make sure you have good contact with the soil, with the seed. And let me get some vermiculite. All right. This will actually help so the seeds don't dry out as easily. I find you don't get as much mold and stuff. Okay, give it a little spritz. Now we're going to close this up. Again, I apologize that I did the other one, talking and thinking at the same time. It's a recipe for disaster. Okay, so we've got that closed. Let's get that closed up, and I'm going to open the other one up and fix it. Because I don't want the winter sewing police to come yell at me that I did it wrong. If you've been following me for a while, you know that actually I don't normally sow seeds, but there are a lot of different plants that I wanted to try, as my garden has expanded and expanded and expanded. All right, this is number 16, and I'm going to write it on my Bachelor button container on my thing, so I know number 16, and I'll go put this. I have an Excel sheet. Okay, so that one's okay. So let me go back and fix this one so I can show you. Maybe I can save that tape. Be good if I could. Now, normally, I forgot the vermiculite, but normally I could have just used my spray bottle and gone right in the top here. But I actually do want to get some vermiculite in here. Okay. And again, we're just going to cover it up. It's that simple. Good luck. If you have any other tips for winter sowing, let me know. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned. Some of the things I'm going to talk about coming up are how interior design color theory will affect garden design, or how it can be used in your garden design. If there's a topic you want me to talk about, please let me know. Trying to watching the birds out the window. Sorry. So I've got some not plans like I had last year, because last year we know I made 3 brand new beds. So this year I do want to do a little, I'll call it reconstructing in my garden. So I really would like to find different combinations. So if I have roses, maybe I'm going to put some salvia underneath it because maybe that'll help with black spot. So I'm kind of looking at different options of what else do I want to introduce in my yard.
So here's an update of what I'm doing with the Amaryllis. Some are cut, some are still in their pots, doing a little bit of each, trying to get a little bit of a layered thing going here. That's Magical Touch are the red ones, and I've got a white one in there that hasn't opened yet. And here's the other big group that I have of Amaryllis. These are cut, and then I took apart the arrangement that I did the other day that I showed you, and I just popped these in water. So I have a few different ones. I have whites, pinks, peaches. Still have nice little, the combination ones. So that's what I did with the Amaryllis from the other day that you saw. Again, I love this pink.